All right, everybody. We're gonna be starting here in like 4 minutes with Nick Chahine, lead trader from the Options Inner Circle chat room, lead trader, lead mentor, lead educator, lead best friend. Okay, he's gonna help you understand what's going on in the markets today. We will be talking about tons of stuff today, so make sure you're paying attention. We're gonna talk about mega caps, trading mega caps, and trade ideas, options education, the options chain, condors, butterflies, credit put spread, cover calls, a whole bunch of stuff. You don't want to miss this. All right. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Literally, we're going to be here in 3 minutes live. Okay. 3 minutes, we're going to get it started. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Is my audio good? Everybody good in the chat? On the Zoom chat, let me know if you guys can read me here. Got to give a couple shout outs, of course. We got one phone call in listener. We got to shout out that guy. His number is 310. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say his number, but shout out to that guy. We got CJ, David, Frank, Kelly Moore. What's going on, Kelly? Kelly, I believe, just joined one of the option stuff here. Steven Vargas, Try Baby, nice. Todd Limberg, Yanides. Okay, we got about a couple hundred people here. Ishan says, LOL, I'm driving. That's why I'm on the phone. Yeah, I was about to put your phone on blast, man. You get ready for those spam calls. Just kidding. All right, John Croning is good to go. Mr. John is a lifetime member. You see, I remember everybody here. Grass Paul, what's up? XYZ Meat. Yari, Gary. All right, who's ready to go? In the chat, are you guys fired up and ready to go? If you're not fired up, we're not starting, period, all right? But we're going to be here with Nick Chahine, lead trader, lead educator. He runs the whole options game here. He's got a live trading room. He was in a meeting now. He's basically live the entire day, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. This is unheard of in the world, I think. He's there the whole day, Monday to Friday, and then he's there on Sundays also from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. So if you're bored on Sunday, you can always find ways to stay ahead of the 8 ball, right? With Nick and his group. So T Greenman is good to go. All right. In the chat, put a 1 if this is your first time here. Manny says, let's go. I like the energy, Manny. Put a 1. Yo, I didn't even say anything. Put a 1 in the chat. If this is your first time here, put a 2 if you've been here before. And let's go ahead and bring on the man of the hour. You already know who it is, Mr. Nick Chahine. Everybody give him a warm welcome.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Hey,
Hey, Mr. Nick Chahine, man. I know you're a busy guy. You got probably the tightest schedule. I don't know how you do it, but here you are. You just got out of the session today, right?
We had a fantastic session. If you actively trade the market, the last couple of days were weird, where we had good rallies, too strong of a rally going into the CPI. And then we watched the CPI action in the morning live. I started to talk clearly during the session. So we were able to talk through it. Let me see, the SPY maybe is easier for people to see if I go to 5 minutes. So clearly yesterday's close was too wild, and we complained about it in our room yesterday. Today we had 345, 350 people, I can't remember at the top. And the discussion was, I was trying to keep us with realistic expectations. And almost every arrow we put on the chart today, some of the people are here, was perfect. Not in the sense where like I knew where it was going, but we were not blind to the whipsaw. And lines we put yesterday came into play today perfectly. So we added some new lines that we're going to watch for the next couple of days. So we were able to, I'll show you some of the trades we did a little bit later. But I just want you to know that there was no news today. The news was nothing happened. Yet, look at this violence. And when we opened up here, I said, don't be surprised if we come down to the overnight lows. And then don't short. And then short, because there was some discrepancies in the price action based on some algo flow data. I said the algo flow data is horrific. Whoop. This happened, I forget when, but then this also was, you could have foreseen it, the potential for it. Meanwhile, I was respecting the upside potential because we were too close to a round number. And when markets go to 400, everybody wants to go to 400 today. I said, we don't need it. Today, we need the scoreboard we got today, which was what? Okay. We had a slightly green day. I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry about that. Sorry. I share my screen all day. You'd think I'd have that down. I'm not sharing my screen. Which screen is it?
Yeah, I don't think you're sharing your screen.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to grab the right screen. Okay, there we go. Now I got it. I think this is it. Share. All right, you should see a chart that's kind of busy, right?
Yeah. People will say you're rocking the beard now.
Okay, so what I was saying is that this was the action around the report. And what happened was nothing happened from the report. The report was quite a bit in line with expectations. And the expectations that were built into it, like how hard we rallied into the CPI, I guess people looked at the actual report and they said, wait, there's not great news here. There wasn't bad news. But this whipsaw was totally foreseeable. This drop came on weakness in the underlying of the market. And this was totally foreseeable from the algo flow. And this is something we keep track of. I kid you not, 350 people, 340 people, everybody's pitching in. We had some time to joke around too. So the price action looks crazy, but it is not as crazy if you know what you're doing with charts, and we do. That's why I spend all of my days. I volunteer my time throughout the day, every day, because it's a lot of fun and it's very fruitful. And I'll show you how we made money off of that today, off of that yesterday. So we had the discussion yesterday. How do you trade the CPI? I said, personally, I wouldn't. I would not trade the CPI. I would trade the action after the CPI comes out, and that's what we made money on. However, I did take the opportunity to do a lesson on calendars and the difference between a calendar and a diagonal. So somebody wanted to bet up on the SPY. Said, Nick, how can you bet up on the SPY? I want to do something. I said, well, the implied volatility was pretty high for today. I said, if I were you, I would buy something out in time. So I gave the opportunity, the idea, a specific trade setup. I said, I would buy the 396 call for the 17th, which is Tuesday. And then I said, I would sell this week's calls today's calls, not this week, the ones that expired today at $3.99. So why would I do that? Because the entry price, the $300, I forget how much that was. I cut it in half. So this total expense was $1.50, $1.60, if I remember correctly. Today is $300. Why? It's not that because this made money. It didn't make money. Look, it lost money. But this one lost more money faster. So this one lost $240. This one only lost $150. So that difference made me money. So this diagonal made money regardless of, we could have fallen a little bit and still made money. Somebody said, okay, I like your diagonal, but I'm going to do a calendar. And the calendar would be to buy and sell the same call. This is what he chose. And he paid 70 cents for it. So he made $100, more than 100% on his investment. However, he needed to close it before the bell rang because this one that he sold went into money. So he still made money on it, but it went into money. So if he didn't close his position, then they would act on him. So he also made money, and that is a calendar. So this was a quick lesson between the difference between a calendar and a diagonal. This is a calendar. When I sell and buy a call out in time, sell a call shorter in time, it's the same level. The diagonal would be to buy the call and sell a call higher. I think I did 396 in this one, 399. So this was a lesson from last night. So whoever took these trades, even though, oh yeah, I can't read. Okay, even though I didn't say I was doing it. I was answering the question to somebody said, how do you trade this? So this is how we learn. I bet you one of you will say here, is there teaching? Are there lessons? Of course there are. This was one of them. Today I had another lesson. I forgot what it was about. 2 or 3 of them actually. But I said, listen, let's stop. And I started drawing. Shoot, it'll come to me in a second. Also, there was a lesson today on how to buy a breakout. Like, do I buy it going into the breakout? Do I buy it as soon as it breaks out? Do I buy the dip? I say that because I draw a lot of lines and I say, okay, this is how I would do it. For example, this was a scenario today. I said, if you lose support, you're coming down to here. Well, they overdid it. If you take this line out, then you can have a rally. They overdid it. I deleted a whole bunch because the bell rang and I didn't need those anymore. I think I might have some on the futures. Yes, we do track the futures. Check this out. Very busy on the futures today. I have a few people that keep asking me futures. So I said, okay, we'll do it. So I deleted a whole bunch here. They were spot on. There was one that says buy the dip. And if they did, you made money. Sorry about that. My son bought a dirt bike that wasn't running and he just got it running. So he's going to make about $1,500 on that one. Okay, so these were setups that played out all at once. This was a setup that played out from the box where I said there'd be sellers. This was a line that we picked up today. I call them the 6. In the morning, there were weird 15-second candles. And I took interest in them and I called them the 6, and they became pivotal. Let me see if I can bring them to you to show you that you have to pay attention to details. And if you don't know how, I'm here to show you. Look at that. They don't make candles this neat often. Check it out. This middle candle, you can't even see it. It's on the line. These are 15-second candles. So clearly, 4017 matters. This is the S&P futures, not the SPX. So we have fun all day. We joke around all day. I was giving people a hard time a little bit for fun at the end of the day. The opportunities were great. And let me show you where the best opportunities came. If you guys don't have a platform that trades the SPX, you should get into the SPX. So these are 3 different trades for the SPX for today, and a credit put spread, 2 credit put spreads at the open. So as soon as the market opened, I said, this is the trade. If somebody sold that, they made money. They could have gone fishing, $55 per contract. How much money do you need to do this? $450 in your account. But I wouldn't put all of my eggs in one basket, clearly, but that's the amount of risk it takes. and it delivers 10 to 11% in one day. 10 to 11% in one day. Without needing a rally or a drop. You just need price not to crash. A little bit through the morning, this was no longer available because it played out. This was available. And this paid within minutes. I'll show you. Some people did them. And then I offered I offered a boring iron condor, which played out well. That paid 20%, maybe 22% today. And then I offered two that were pretty risky iron condors. One paid $400 per contract, $400 per contract, if you played it right. And one paid $210 per contract. And I thought that the market would close somewhere around, where did we close in the SPX? 3984. So I called the close somewhere around 3973 to 3979. That's pretty close. So that also worked. So I wouldn't do all of these, but these are the opportunities that are available to somebody that wants to actively trade without being an active trader. Those are the easy trades. If somebody likes the action, then they join trades like, okay, I need to buy a call, I need to buy a put. All right, so this morning, before the market opened, somebody reached out to me and said, can you share today trades that are just naked calls or puts? Like, I want to buy one call or one put. I don't want to do spreads. I said, I don't know how you missed it. I make those comments all day, every day. So in the morning, when the price fell to here, I said, I don't know where they stop, but I want to get long with this arrow. So I said, I would buy a call in the SPY right here, right now. Today's expiration or tomorrow at the money. And then this happened. So if somebody bought a call here, they probably made 300-400%. I don't know how much that is. I would have booked here somewhere. So she asked, boom, answered right away. And there were dozens of other opportunities. Like I said, don't bite here for several reasons, and don't bite here. This is a bull trap. So we played it right. Now, this is for people who can be in the live room. Everything I said right now, everything I said is gravy. This is not part of the program. You don't have to sign up for this. This is extra. This is me going out of my way to share 9 hours a day my screen. I'm in California, so I log in the 4s. I start talking around 6:30 my time when the market opens, but today I started talking like 5:20, 5:15 a.m. So this is all extra. So what is the program? The program is you join a community of like-minded traders. You will have a chat room, which is not the live room. This is a chat room. You can hang out with, like right now, there are 135 people here. And this is where I post my ideas, my pre-market notes, my trade ideas, and my recaps and setups. And this is where you can come in and debate. If you have a question, you come in here. If I can't answer it, somebody else will jump in. Let's see here, Arsh. All right, so this was an iron condor where the credit call spread is not going so well. Luckily, when I opened it, I shared an exit spot. And if they're in it, today was a day to act on it before it becomes too late to go to maximum loss. So I have to answer him. I'm not going to do it now. Okay. And if I make a mistake, somebody will let me know. So this is another place of communication where if you don't have time to be in the live room, even if pop in, you can be here at night or whatever place your question. You can send me a direct note, and you can get your answer right away. All right. So when you get started, you also have a video library resource. What is a call? What is a put? What is a put? What is a call? What is the spread? What is the credit spread? And a few other questions. In the live room, I share at least one time a day a video for iron condors. So the setups that I share, you don't need to be an active trader. Most of them are credit spreads, which is what I like. I think you should look into credit spreads. However, if somebody wants to trade shares, equities, I can help. If somebody wants to trade buying puts and calls, I can help. If somebody wants to trade the futures, Iqbal, are you here? He asks, he stops me. Hey, what about the futures? I can help, because we know the fundamentals and we're super strong on the technicals, and we know options inside and out. So tomorrow we'll find out, the banks will start reporting, and that's going to impact the market. So the question is, like literally before we hung up today, what is this a good time to go long Google? I said, it is an interesting question. I did post the idea of going long Google when it was falling. So yeah, I will discuss that with you here. We'll pick 4 mega caps and we'll see how we can trade them. And that's the point, me finding trades. So they are asking me, so what are you doing these days? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm sharing with you every day I share, okay, so we had sell-offs we had a big rally out of the October crash, and then we started selling off, and people are freaking out. People are looking to 2000 SPX. Oh, Joe, JP Morgan said this. And it's like, who gives a fudge about what JP Morgan says? They don't know schmutz about schmutz. I'm not going to cuss. They don't know much more than you do. This environment has not happened before. They manipulate prices, yes, but we know just as much, and we don't need them. And they're going to steer us wrong. So on the way down, when everybody was freaking out, I looked at Amazon. Let's just use Amazon, for example. And I said, you know what? Amazon is as cheap as I've ever seen it. That is not an exaggeration. And you go cheap, its PE is a bazillion. It's like, who cares about the PE for Amazon? Amazon is a growth company. So it's all about its price to sales, not the price to earnings. When a company grows fast, I don't focus on how profitable it is. In order to grow fast, the reason it grows fast is because it spends a lot. So Amazon has never stopped growing. It's the ultimate startup because they keep reinventing themselves. AWS came out of nowhere. That wasn't their business. So that's a startup. And it's now a giant chunk of their money. So in order for me to say if it's cheap or not, and I look at its PE, that's an idiotic way to examine Amazon. Oh my gosh, it was 58. Yeah, but it was 4 years worth of sales built into that. Now it's almost 2. It's twice as cheap. You won't find another mega cap this cheap. That's cheaper than Apple by a mile. So you will not find another mega cap of this quality, this cheap. This means that you showed up to the pizza store and you said, I would like to buy your store. Here are 2 years worth of your sales. They wouldn't sell it to you because that's cheap. In this case, if the pizza is super busy, the pizza store is super busy and he's growing every year, why would he sell it to you for that cheap? Okay, so this is not a company in trouble at all. And it's pretty cheap. And technically, it's inside and below the pandemic levels. So if you think about it logically, the world was closed for business here for months at a time. The world was panicked about a virus that was unknown. Amazon was this cheap. So my call to Amazon, I said, don't buy calls. I would sell puts to own shares or just buy straight up shares. If they did, it was in the low 80s. It's up to 95 now. Easy money. So that was one way. So in this case, how would I trade Amazon? If you came here to see how would I trade the mega caps, I would have bought the dip. Is it too late? No, not in general. But if you're trying to time the entry, I would look for a dip. But I'm not sure we're going to get too many of those. So this is a 1-hour chart. It's going into a prior fail. If you bought Amazon today, I think it was up 5% yesterday. Yes. No way I'm going to start a stock up here. So if you came, I think the headline for this webinar was how to trade the mega caps, things like Amazon and Microsoft and all of that. So this is first one out here. Let's build a plan. Okay. First of all, we just knocked out of the way that fundamentally there's nothing wrong with the company. Second of all, sidebar, I'm using Amazon as my own GDP report. The data from the government, let's just put it nicely, is not reliable. I use the word, what was that word? Garbage. It's garbage. If you're an engineer and you deliver that kind of data to build the bridge will collapse if you can finish it. So how can I tell how good the economy is doing? Let's look at Amazon's income. If the sales in Amazon suddenly are 30% lower, then whoa, the GDP number is wrong. And that's what the experts are now pushing back on the jobs number. They're saying, how can you have 1 million jobs created, 1.2 million, whatever the White House is claiming, and the GDP is as low as it is? These two don't go together. So the data is junk. The real data is these companies have to report legally the right numbers. So I trust the sales number in Amazon. So if the sales numbers collapses, I will change my mind about the stock market. Now, back to trading. This is not an obvious entry point. The last 2 times it was here, it was a catastrophe. Doesn't mean this time it's not different, but I shouldn't buy a call yesterday or today from Amazon because I want to see what happens here. That's the technical. I told you fundamentally, I like it. If I'm trying to get a best entry point, I should buy it on a dip. How low? Anywhere below 93 would be great. So I can get $2 to $3 to $4 entry points lower. Like there's a gap down here. What's that all about? There's a gap down here. What's that all about? Nick, it's not going to go back down to here. Not alone, but I have very good faith in the of CNBC and the politicians to cause this on purpose. Anyway, any dip in Amazon is buyable. And when it comes back and takes these levels out, the rally is going to be $8 to $13 from here. So 105, 120, 113, 114 within the next 2 months. Doable. What's in the way? What's in the way are earnings. Netflix reports earnings next week, and Netflix is the N in FANG, so it's going to influence the rest of them. So Amazon will likely move in sympathy with Netflix. I have a feeling Netflix is going to crash big time on the report, not because it's a bad company, because of the words from the CEO. If they shrink in growth of users, I think the market is going to spit in its face big time. The higher it goes before the report, the lower it goes after the report. I think there is a scenario for Netflix to breach December's lows. I'm not going to short it based on that. Maybe I'll buy a put or two for fun into the earnings. But if it drops 20%, I would not be surprised. It was very strong this week. It's rallied quite a bit. 22 on this one, 32 on this one. So clearly it has momentum. But I'm worried about it. Look, big pile of sellers up here. Everybody's stock up here is going to be selling as soon as they hit there. So if this indeed falls, it's going to put some drag on Amazon through no fault of its own. So going back to Amazon, I'm confident owning shares. I'm confident selling puts or put spreads on down days. I'm not so confident buying calls that are short term. If I'm buying calls, I would have time on the clock, like at least 30 days out, and I would maybe do a debit call spread. So if you don't know what that is, lesson time. So this is a practice platform that I have from E-Trade. I am not recommending it. This is Amazon. So if you tell me buy Amazon shares, I'm fine with that. I wouldn't go all in. If you tell me buy calls, I would go to February, maybe even March. And maybe I'll do a calendar. Hey, how about we do that? Let's practice what we just learned. Let's see if there is one. So when I buy a call, I want a low delta. In this case, I will buy the 100 because it's right here right now. All right, so I will buy that call. And this is $400 out of my pocket for one contract. So how can I lower my expense? I would go out to tomorrow and sell. Well, clearly, the market's closed. I can't do it. Today, Thursday? Yeah. I will go out to tomorrow and I can sell anything at the 100, but there isn't any. So I can't do that. So I'll go to January 20th. So it is next week, not this Friday, next Friday at the 100. I can get $50 for it. So what I can do is okay, so now this is what I have. I bought this one out in time, 36 days. I sold this one next week. They're both at 100, so that's called a calendar. I bought and sold the same one in 2 different time zones. One has 36 days, one has 8 days. So the best case scenario is Amazon rallies, but not too fast. And the way I would want it to happen is, okay, let Amazon stock, which is right here right now, rally slowly, and next Friday break above that, so that I'm long this one for free. Because if it doesn't breach this by next Friday, then this dies for zero. So I would have effectively gave myself a discount from $400 to $350. And then I'm staying long this one, and this one's still rallying, and I still have 36 days, or after that will be whatever, 28 days. So you see the idea? That's one way to trade it. I'm not a fan of that as much as I am from selling risk when people freak out. And let me see if I can explain. Another moment, teaching moment. If you like a stock and somebody says you can sell puts to buy shares. So let's say I'm okay buying Amazon shares at $92. Then I would go out and sell one put at $92 that expires in 8 days. So what does that mean? This means that I'm promising someone, one of you out there, that I will buy your shares at 92 between now and 8 days. Anytime you want, you can give me shares. At what price? At 92. When can you do it? Anytime. Price can be here. If you want to give them to me for 92, if you're an idiot, go ahead and do it. But you're not, so you won't. So usually people wait until price goes below that. So what are the consequences for me? Nothing. If price starts falling, this position in my book, I'll show you one that looks like it, starts growing. So this $80 will turn into $2. And it would look like, oh my gosh, I have 300% loss. Yeah, on paper, but I won't touch it. So I'll give you two examples before we go here. So if I don't touch it, then the worst case scenario is I wake up one day owning shares at 92. And if the stock is at 91, I didn't lose much because I collected about $1 to get it. So that would be me getting assigned share, getting put the stock. So I wake up owning shares, and that position just disappears. This put goes away, and all the red that was with it, gone. Instead, I will see shares in my account. So this is selling a put to own shares. Let me show you, continuing in the promise of what we said when you got here, let me show you a real life example. So check this out. We were in the chat room when Tesla was falling into, I don't know, 106, 110. Which, by the way, we called. We warned about the Tesla drop to the 2 digits months ago, and it happened. I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but I warned about it over and over and over, and it happened. So they said, they came into the room thinking that I'm all bearish Tesla, and I'm not. And they said, Nick, what do you think of buying a $60 put in Tesla for May? I was like, I will sell you that put. I literally went out and I sold puts in May 60 and March 60. These are sister copies of that trade. I collected $350 to do that. This is a practice account, so it wouldn't fill at the actual trade, so I have to give up some money. I collected that much, and I collected this much for 2 sets of puts, one for May and one for March. They have a lot of days on the clock, 64 days and 120. So Tesla, that wasn't the bottom in Tesla. I did not catch the bottom. And then Tesla went to almost 101 or whatever the low was in Tesla. I still made money because when I sold them, Tesla had fallen like 12% and the VIX was exploding. So the puts were super, super hot. I collected $350. Now they're $150. So I can go out and buy this back, pay $150. And in essence, I would have booked $200 profit from each. And my risk was owning Tesla at 60 and breaking even at under 57. So 56.6, that would have been my break-even point, 5. That would have been my break-even point. That was my risk for the next 124 days or 64 days. So that was a risk I was willing to take. So I didn't even look at this trade, and look how profitable it is. So how can I close this trade? I would go out and just buy these back. Pay whatever it takes, and those trades are off. And now you're saying not everybody can sell naked puts in Tesla. When they couldn't before, they can now. It's a cheap stock dollar-wise, like a low dollar amount. It's not a $2,000 stock. So, but you can make this trade with slightly different parameters to make it affordable for anybody. Speaking of affordability, I know everybody's asking, well, how much money do I need in order to be selling puts or put spreads? Nothing. You need to learn it first with fake money. Join the program, learn it with fake money, and then we'll talk about how you ease into real money trades. So let's say you think Tesla is not going to go below 95. Then you can sell a $95 put, or you can sell a put spread. So I don't know when it reports earnings. I wouldn't do this through earnings, so double check that. Like this trade right here would deliver 10%. How do you win? If Tesla stays above 90 in the next 36 days. Okay, so this trade right here would deliver almost 14, 15%. Let's double check. 20%. This trade here would deliver 20% if Tesla does not fall below 100 in the next 36 days. And this, if you do one contract, you're risking $400-ish, $410. Not a bad way to do it. And teachable moment, the 25th, thank you so much. Yeah, I wouldn't do this through earnings, but I'm showing for teaching. By the way, these are not trade alerts. So let's say I want to do, have you heard of the term iron condor? Okay, so this is an iron condor. What is this trade? This trade pays, what am I doing here? Oh, mistakes. Dunk. Okay, so this pays $150, $160. So I collect money from being bullish. I collect money from being bearish. How do I win? I win if price stays inside this zone. If Tesla does not go above 150 or Tesla does not fall below 100, how much do I make? The yield is pretty big on this one. It's 46%. That's pretty cool because I don't need a rally or a drop. I just need it not to rally too far and not to fall too far. And I can close these trades either side at any point in time. And the risk here is actually smaller because I'm collecting more. Here, I'm only risking $340. So that's why it's a high percentage, 40, 50%. So these are a couple of ways I can trade Tesla. On bad days, on really bad days, I would sell a put to own shares. Right. If I can't, I would sell a put spread. And if I don't know what's going on, I would sell an iron condor. What's up?
Hey, Nick, sorry, man, I don't want to interrupt or nothing like that, but we're getting a ton of questions here about your live room. I'm just going to go through this really quick. I know that we're short on time today, so I'm going to run through these. Does Nick Chahine go over student trade ideas? Yes, he does it all the time. He does custom trades for people with different, keep in mind, everybody has a different account size, different risk profile, different goals, different targets. So you're not the same as the guy next to you. So it's very important to find the trade for you, right? That's where Nick comes in. He's able to give you these different types of trades. I believe he already mentioned the daily iron condor that he does, yielding 20 to 25%. So that's a great trade he does with the SPX. He manages the trade for you. Good question there, Phil. Next, what is the chat room schedule? The blue chat room that Nick showed you is open 24/7, 24/7. I'm telling you, it's open all day. Literally, we have an international community. So we have people, I've signed up people all the way from Zimbabwe, all the way to Canada, to Finland. And it's a great, great community. It's open 24/7. Now, the live session, which is extra, it's Nick's gravy, if you will. It's basically Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. And that is a live session where Nick is live streaming, sharing his charts, sharing everything, answering questions verbally, text. You can private message him. It's basically like you're in the room with him, right? So that's a good question there. Let's see. Price next year, it's going to be the same as renewal. The price will not change. And does Nick provide options education? Yes, I believe he already, I think Nick already kind of showed a little bit some of the videos that he's got, which is like a getting started lesson. It's like Nick's private library, but I'll tell you what's even better. You got Nick Chahine on demand, literally like whipping out education sessions on a daily, right? Not just for every trade, but when people ask questions, right? A lot of people always come in like, hey, Nick, what do you think about this, an iron condor on Apple? What do you think about this and this on Tesla? it all is education, right? Because we're not just giving you a trade alert and figure it out. We're walking you through the 1, 2, 3s, the ABCs on how to do this successfully as a trader, right? The days where you have to learn by blowing up your account are over, right? That's why you're in the group. That's why you're with Nick. You have an options professional, right? Next question we have, should we, okay, yeah, so Nick is able, so good question here, Joe. So we have people that work full-time and are able to successfully trade the chat room, manage the trade. Keep in mind, you got push notifications on the chat. You can have this thing open from your cell phone, literally on a bathroom break. So we have a lot of people that have full-time jobs, part-time jobs, and they are able to take full advantage of the chat room. And even so, there are trades that are designed by Nick for people that have full-time jobs, that you don't have to be looking at the day-to-day, the tick-to-tick, which is great. Nick, you want to elaborate a little bit on how people with full-time jobs?
Sure. So 10 years ago, maybe 11, I got together with Benzinga. And actually, I got invited into Benzinga. Somebody on Twitter threw my name into Benzinga. And I met the team back then. They were starting out. And they didn't have anybody doing what we're doing, which is credit spreads. And my goal was to teach people credit spreads. I don't want you to switch all your trades into credit spreads, but I think you ought to look into it, because if I have a job or a family, or I'm busy homeschooling somebody, or I just don't want to trade that actively, it's a lazy way of making money. It's not home runs. So you can't make 4 times your money if you just want to do those trades where you don't pay attention. Let's say you're an engineer, you're a teacher, you're a nurse. I talked to a couple of nurses today in the group, and a surgeon. Actually, I have like 5 surgeons in the live room, which is pretty insane. It's like, who's doing the surgeries? So if you cannot make it into the live room, what can I do? So I don't know exactly when the bottoms are and the tops are, but I'm confident, very confident of where supports and resistance are. And when you're doing credit spreads, if you're very confident of that, it's easy to make money. It's not foolproof. Every once in a while, you get shellacked by a headline like Snapchat one time. The CEO comes out and opens their mouth and ruins everything for you. But those are few and far between. So, for example, how easy, let me say it this way. It's so much easier for me to know where the stock is not going to go, all the places where it's not going to go, than to say, okay, it's going to go from here to here by then. That's what everybody does. Everybody wants to buy here, sell here. I think it's a lot easier to say, you know what, you could be right, but I bet you it's easier to say it's not going here or it's not going here. And if that's the case, I would rather sell risk here or sell risk here, or both. So that's the style of trades. So yes, you don't have to be involved every day. So you check in the morning if you want to see what the day looks like before the market opens. And then you check in again in the chat room, or you set up your email, however you do it with Benzinga, and you say, okay, you read my recap. It's usually in the middle of the day, sometimes early, sometimes late. I'll say, this is what happened today, and here's what I'm doing today. And usually what I'm doing is I love just catching falling knives. I like to find the stocks that are falling into support, and I share my setup, and my setup is conservative. You can take my setup and tweak it to your level of risk. I share the setups that suit any size account. So if somebody has a $2,000 account, they can still take the trade. But if you think you want to go more aggressive, you take my setup and you make it wider, and it just becomes bigger money. But the concept is the same. The odds of success are the same. So when you take a risk, you risk money. But the second part of the risk is, what are my odds of success? So I like the odds in my favor, and risking how much money is up to you. So the setups are easy for anybody to follow on any schedule. You pop in once a day, you read it, you go, nah, it's not for me, you skip it. For example, when we were falling out of control that one day, I was like, you know what? Here are 3 things I can do. I can go long Shopify, I can go long Square or Microsoft, and I can just go along the QQQ. And I shared specifics on those 3. Today, I sent out a note. Guess what? It was for January 27th. Those QQQ going long by selling a credit put spread when everybody was freaking the fudge out, they're now 3 cents to buy back. So that's 88% of the maximum gains. and I didn't have to look at it twice. I literally forgot I had the order open, the trade open. I'm looking in my positions open, and there it was, the QQQ. I was like, oh, okay, so let me send a note to close it. There, it expires on the 27th. Anything could happen between now and the 27th. Leaving risk open for 3 cents per contract is ridiculous. So close that bad boy. The other day when when things were rallying too far, I said I would like to short the Dow. So I shared the short the Dow idea. Literally the next day, if not 2 hours later, the Dow comes down, and that credit call spread expires tomorrow for maximum gains. But I sent out a note when it got too cheap. It was like 5 cents to close. I was like, just get it off the books. So these are setups that you don't need to be active. You just need to read the note and see if it fits your, if you agree, you take the trade. If not, you skip it. I'm not a trade alert service. I want to teach you something. And somebody jumps in, what is your record? It's posted on Benzinga. Go check it out. When you sign up, you'll see it. It's all there. I can't hide behind my record because I log it. First I write it up and I give it to a team who dresses it up nicely and sends out email. And then I go in and I log it inside the table. So it's on record. Have I had losses? Of course. I chose to share an Iron Condor in Disney. And the credit call spread of the Iron Condor is losing money. But when I shared it, I said, if the sold call gets to be a delta of 0.3 or higher, I would exit. So somebody should have suffered a partial loss, which is normal business. If somebody skipped the credit call spread, then they made money on the credit put spread. So the Iron Condor had two sides. Disney rallied on headlines from the CEO out of nowhere. Again, these are unforeseen. So yeah, I collected 26 cents or whatever it was, 25, 26, 22, and now it's 50 cents. So I lost 25 cents per contract. I had a similar setup with Rivian. Okay. And I said, I would like to own shares in Rivian and I will sell a credit put spread. And if the credit put spread gets under fire, I would not defend it. I would take the share and sell the protection legs and I will break even somewhere around 15. And the credit put spread is under fire. So somebody reached out and I said, you know what? Don't freak out. Let me remind you what we're doing. And I said, you can close it now for a 25-cent loss, or you can just do what I'm doing, accept the shares if they give them to me. Right now, they are not going to give them to me if the bell rings, and it still has 15 days on the clock. So the trade setups are slow moving that I like. Now, if you have time to jump into the live room with me, that's where it gets bumpy and a lot of fun. And let me show you the comments from just today. I promise you, I didn't go back in time. Usually I go back in time and I read comments from like 3-4 weeks and 2 months ago. These are today. And right after the close, no, this one's 340 people. So MK bought SPX calls 22 out at 27. That is off my comment in the morning. Look, that's 1:12, 7 Pacific. So half an hour after market open. Remember I told you, somebody asked me specifically on the SPY, and I put an arrow. Was it here? I said, this is where I would enter. This purple arrow right here. I think it was Lena. I said I would enter here. So this gentleman, oops, not this one. This MK bought calls. So in 5 minutes. So he made $500 per contract. I don't know how many contracts he did in 5 minutes. So he risked $2,200 per contract, but that was, you can't, he's trading fast on my comments. This is 1:12, 1 minute later. Yes, I heard it. 16% on my SPY calls. That guy shares like 3 dozen trades a day. He's a fast trader, like it says. He shares his setups. I'm in, I'm out, I'm scalping, I'm leaving runners. Carissa took the trade. Lena was the one asking about it. Jake, and thanks for the arrow. It fixed some major damage. Okay, let's see. A little bit later, jokes. I don't know what that's all about. William, sorry, William, I'm outing you. Thank you for everything you do. I had good days, bad days, and horrible days, but things are falling into place. This is honest as answer. I didn't even screen it. Green for 2 weeks. I'm not trying to get rich in one day, just taking profits as soon as possible. Thank you, thank you. This is a person who's telling me honestly that He's had some bad days, but he's getting better. The 112 again, that's about noon my time. Shirish shared his exits 2 days in a row because he saw the credit call spread getting under fire. He saw the rallies late in the day. He said, I'm not going to do this. I'm out. And he says, thank you for your guidance. I made my weekly goal in just 3 SPX trades today. I feel a lot more confident about my trades. I feel a lot more confident about my trades. Okay, that's what it means is he doesn't like to trade alone anymore. So when he takes trades, he has us to pop in and say, I'm doing this. What do you think? So that statement right there, how confident are you in your trades, and how much confidence would you have if you had 300 people giving you advice, telling you that you might be making a mistake? Luis had a bad day yesterday. I know that. Thanks again, Nick. I needed the day after yesterday. Haven't touched those ICs yet. Those ICs were, I had a lesson. That's what it was. Yes, I just remembered. Remember, I told you I gave a lesson. I can't remember what it was. So Luis came to me with an Iron Condor question. So he came to me in the last 3 weeks, once a day. He says, I'm setting up this Iron Condor. What do you think? So he's doing what I like. Trades that are 3 to 4 weeks out. And so they're slower. So he doesn't have to babysit them. I said, great. So he had a trade. I forget when it expires. I think the 10th, February 24th. Let's say this one. And it was on the SPX. So anyway, he has one side of the Iron Condor that was taking heat. So he did an Iron Condor at 40.50, 40.60, and 3,500 the credit put spread. So when he did it, it was right in the middle. Now price is closer to the upper end. So I said, don't worry. So I calmed him down. I said, your Iron Condor is still statistically viable at 40.50. That doesn't make sense. These numbers are wrong. Anyway, so he was statistically viable. And I also reminded him what he could do, that he could sell more credit put spreads to balance it out. And he was happy, and he didn't need to do anything. Had he acted when he came to me, he would have booked a loss. I said, first of all, you're not losing. You're still even on the trade. Second of all, I would wait another day and see what happens. And that was what he was thanking me about. So that was the lesson. But I had it drawn out with Sharpies, and everybody was listening. So everybody took benefit from his lesson, and he was willing to share his potential problem for that.
Hey, Nick, someone has they keep asking. So look, I'm just gonna like summarize this really quick, folks. Like what exactly Nick is doing, right? So you get 5 to 10 daily trade alerts in the live room. Okay, that is the one that's open 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Then you get 20 email trade alerts per month. Okay, and then Sunday you get 150 to 200 stock analysis for 3 hours. 100 of you want tickers, you will be. I mean, you want trade ideas, you got hundreds of trade ideas right there. So I just wanted to summarize that, folks. Matthew, Marvin, it is annual or lifetime. It's on the checkout. We posted it on the chat. I just want to get this out of the way because I know that we are short on time here with Nick. But yes.
Thank you. So yeah, those Sunday sessions, they are tickers that you want to review. So tomorrow night, I will send out a form and I'll say, tell me your tickers you want to review on Sunday, usually about 130 to 180. And I spend literally 3 to 4 hours doing this table. It's clickable. And then on Sunday, I spend 2 hours to 2.5 hours to go through it live with you. And if you can't make it, I record it into 2 or 3 different videos. And that's available to all the members. It's a lot of work. I promise you. This is if you're lazy and you don't want to do your homework, or you just want homework reviewed. So it is a big commitment on my part, but I think it's essential. So here's the statement. I have no doubt in my mind that whatever they're charging you here today, the value is there and then some. If I was to do this on my own, I would charge hundreds a month, like a lot. You go give me a service. So I recently went and shopped other services out there. They're between $99 and $175 a month. And none of them have a trade room open all day for you, where you can go in and ask questions all day. None of them have that. So do the math of what you're getting charged here. It's a bargain. And moreover, I guarantee it. I can guarantee you that you're going to be a much better trader out of it. I don't care what level you're at. You're going to learn something new. I learned something new today. I learned something new last year. Many new things last year. Today, I got new code from somebody because somebody mentioned something yesterday, and I Googled it and I found code, and I'm putting it into my Thinkorswim, and I'm going to share it with the guys tomorrow and gals. In fact, Nicole just bugged me about it, and I'm going to do that. So the growth is like, it never stops. I learn new things. They learn new things. We teach each other new things, and we're covering each other's back. The camaraderie is insane. It is so, I can't describe it. I'm not doing it justice. You're just going to have to see it. And clearly, we have 340 people now and growing. It's just going to get better. Nobody's noisy. We have disagreements every once in a while, but who doesn't? And we walk away from it. So the people pitch ideas, entries. Like we have a few people that say, I'm buying a put here, I'm buying a call here. Today, by the way, meme stocks were all over. I don't like them, and I'm hesitant covering them. But BBBY made so much money for the people in the room, not on my watch, but somebody else was covering it. I'm long here. I'm leaving runners. He was up 1,000%, and his runners were up 1,500%. But he shared everything. It's not like he's telling us about it. He said, I own this, and he's been building a position for 2 or 3 days. I think GME as well, or whatever other. No, AMC or something. So meme stocks are not off limits. You just want to do them responsibly. This is not Discord. Or Reddit. It's nice people, orderly. Nobody can talk except me. Everybody can type. So far, everybody's nice and respectful, and they help each other out. So, I mean, I won't do it justice trying to sell it. Today's get together was to show you how to trade stocks, the big guys. What I'm telling you is all of the big guys' fundamentals are great. Amazon was the cheapest, so I sent out a note, buy shares in Amazon. That played out. Somebody asked me about Google today, literally as the bell rang. I said, why don't you hit me up for tomorrow, because I have to eat, walk my dog, rest, and do a webinar. And here we are. So short term, Google is not perfect entry, but okay. I think it would be better entry into 89. If I go to a daily chart, yeah, you can enter Google. It depends on what you're doing. If you're investing for the midterm to long term, you can start a position. If you're iffy about your entry, the smartest thing you can do is just not take a full-size position. I'm going to give you the best tip today. Don't ever average down. Dollar cost averaging is a sham. If you do it and you use the DCA, I DCA'd it, that means you're making big mistakes every time, because you have a problem and you just made it bigger. In order to use that concept, which is getting in at different levels, the only way that makes sense, if you don't take your full position at once, let's say you usually buy 100 shares and you buy 100 shares, you cannot dollar cost average. You're done. You're locked at that price. You shouldn't drop your price down. And if you buy 20 shares or 30 shares or 40 shares, then you have room to add. I'll give you a perfect example. I was long Solana, crypto. Yes, we do crypto. Today I talked for 20 minutes about crypto. It is my most profitable trades ever. However, I can't tell you I will have my money when it's all said and done, because they're having their tizzy like the banks did in 2008. I think they'll be fine. So I was long Solana at one level, but nowhere near the size of coin I want to hold. And then when it collapsed to 10 or 11, I piled in at 11. And now I'm super green in this coin that is super under fire. So I didn't double down. I averaged into a position, and not even a full-size position. I can still double down, and I'm not on full-size position. So this is not a trade recommendation on Solana. This is me saying you should not go all in. For example, Palantir. I like the stock. It's speculative. I like to own it for the long term. So if I wanted to own 1,000 shares, I only bought 200 or 300. And then I sold a bunch of puts that expired worthless. So I didn't own the shares, but I made money off of them. So my entry cost is about 7 because of that. So I took a bunch of shares and then sold some puts because I wasn't at a full-size position. That's kind of like averaging down. and I never got assigned shares. So the shares I bought are now cheaper. So 7 point something is my break-even point. I think we're back almost there. So how do I trade Google? I can nibble long. I can sell a put to own shares. I can sell a put spreads on bad days. Again, they're going to move with the Netflix earnings, and they have their own earnings. I don't like to take big positions into earnings unless it's an investment. So I caution you for the hiccup around earnings. Like, let's say, look, you don't know what stock is going to do on earnings. Look at this curl right before earnings, and then here's a curl right before earnings. Be careful. Here's a dip into earnings. So let me ask you this. You're saying, oh, they're going to kill it. Their earnings are going to be great. Right. It doesn't guarantee a spike. Their earnings are going to be bad. It doesn't guarantee a sell-off. What? Yeah. Let me use this logic on you. I use crypto.com. I am not recommending it. I don't know. So they here's the thing. If it's all about quality of report, okay, this is a fact. If it's all about quality, it's a matter of math. If you say if the report is good, the stock is going to rally, then Apple should never had a red tick on earnings. It hasn't delivered a bad report in years, if not a decade. So how come Apple falls more often than not on earnings, right? So it's a fact. The report quality for the overnight reaction is not about the quality of how good the quarter was. It's all about expectations. What do I expect? Am I expecting them to blow it out? If I'm expecting a steaming pile of poop because, oh my God, this and that and this and that, and they just deliver regular bad news, not steaming, just dried up nice and neat, it doesn't smell, I'm happy with that. So even though it's crap, I'm happy they'll have a relief pop. So it's all about expectations. If I'm expecting them to crush it and they do good, but they don't crush it, they go down. It's all about expectations. So Google, yes, it could be a good time to nibble, but going into earnings, it's iffy. So I'll tell you this. If somebody wants to buy shares right here, if somebody forces me, hey, you need to buy shares, it's like, you know what? How about if I sell puts instead? Why? Because I'll sell a put down here. Somebody who buys a share down here, and then the stock falls on earnings, if it does fall on earnings, they're going to suffer losses from here to here. That's 10, 11%. Meanwhile, me, I don't even start losing until it drops to here. So I prefer that. However, if it does rally, I'm not long. The only thing I'm long is the amount of money I collected up front. Like the $350 in Tesla per contract, that's the maximum money I could have made. So do this then. If I wanted to own 200 shares of Google, I would sell one put and buy one leap. This way, I'm long Google for not a lot of money. And if it falls apart, I'm not losing right away. So that would be how I would address it. So personally, I don't want to own shares of Google, although it's a fantastic company. I would rather trade the reaction. I'll see what they'll do with it, and then I'll make money off of their reactions. If they sell it, I don't want it to fall, but if they sell it, it'll be a gift to Nick because I know the company is on freaking rails. And you know what? I would love them to sell it on the headline of they missed earnings estimates. My favorite things to catch. There's no dumber reason to sell a stock because they missed earnings estimates for a growth company. Who cares? Can I cuss? I want to cuss so bad. Who cares? This is a growth company. And they missed an estimate. Who's the jackass that made the estimate? I don't know them. Maybe they're idiots. No, go with facts. If the company is growing the top line and the bottom line and it has no internal issues and it's eating the world with regards to advertising and social media, Google has how many trillion hours of watched? I think it's in the trillion. Number of minutes of people's eyeballs glued to YouTube. They don't even make a lot of money from that yet. So anyway, it's a fantastic company. So if they sell it on missed earnings estimates, yes, give it to me. I'll take it. So I would rather make money off of that. So this is the kind of things I like to do. Apple's fantastic. Apple, technically, I warned about Apple to go to the teens, 115, 118. It came close. It's not there yet. It needs to get back above 134, which it did, but it needs tomorrow to hold 133, 134, 135 ideally. Super important. Otherwise, it's in the hands of the bears. You're saying, I'm going to leave you with that warning because I know Rodrigo needs to leave with that warning. So the warning I gave on NVIDIA and AMD was months and months and months ago. From up here, I said NVIDIA could go to 2 digits. They called me crazy. Look at where it went, just shy of 2 digits. Okay, the same scenario played out in AMD. I said, if AMD doesn't get back above 104, 108, it's going down here, and it did. Tesla, I said it could easily be in the 140s, if not 2 digits, if it doesn't bounce right back, and that was up here, 225, 215. Look at where it went, and it still can go lower. The target really is in like 75 or something to close this gap and come down here. But I don't want it to go there. I'm happy enough with going to 101 something, I think the low was. So Apple is stuck in the same threat. If they don't get back above 135 confidently, they have a huge head and shoulders, same pattern. And look at where the pandemic is for Apple. So I don't know what headline is going to bring the market down. Apple will not come down here on its own. If Apple is down here, then the SPX is like 3,100 or something. So it's not coming down on its own. So I think they can avert this for now. But one bounce and then lose it, Apple will be here in a blink of an eye. You won't believe it. I don't know what will bring it here, but I can guarantee you a headline will break out. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway. All right, Rodrigo, I'm throwing it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Wait. Somebody's asking about the GLD. I'm glad you asked. Look at what I did with the GLD. I said go long the GLD down here with pictures. And I said, is this the right platform for it? No, this one is. GLD with pictures. One day. Look, down here. I said I would sell a credit put spread, buy a debit call spread. And I said the rally has legs like a lot. And look at my target. That was from down here in several different setups. Small trade here, bigger trade here, and this setup. And they said, do you go long here? Hell no. Of course not. And it could still go much higher. The target too is 179. So if you want to scalp $3, maybe you get it, maybe you don't. But this is not an obvious entry point for gold. I would wait for the dip down to 168-ish, and then before I consider getting long. But this is, and I believe I did that for the SLV as well. I don't know what happened. Look at that, same SLV. Look, that was my target, it's way above my target. So those played out. I wouldn't do the SLV or the GLD right now. I would wait for better ticks. You're welcome. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You said you needed to leave early today, like on the hour, and this is it.
No, it's yeah. I mean, if however you are doing with time, Nick, I know that you're.
I have another 5 minutes. Let's take some questions from the folks. Let me see if I can read it.
Really quick though, before we do that, want to give a quick shout out here. TJ45, welcome, and also we got Doc PDX in the house on the YouTube chat. Let's go.
So somebody's asking XYZ meet. That's a pretty funky name. I love the question though, because they understood what I just said. I said Amazon was cheap and Tesla is low. So they put 2 and 2 together, Amazon or Tesla. It's a toss-up. I like Tesla because everybody hates it. I like Amazon because I love it. So do both, 50-50. My guidance on SPY, you'll get it every morning and all day, and then in the middle of the day and right up. Every morning, the S&P, I give one chart for the SPY with support and resistance levels and patterns, one chart for the S&P futures, the ES, one chart for the NQ, which is the NASDAQ, one chart for the QQQ, one chart for the IWM, and a whole bunch of notes on what to do and what not to do. And in plain simple English, support and resistance levels. And I want to see if I can show you. We had arrows that played out so well. Shoot, I don't have the right platform for it. Yeah, okay. Let me see if it's here. Okay, check this out. So picture this. Somewhere around here, Nick draws this. Yeah, buy the dip. I'm not joking. These things were here before the actual price action. I would say buy the dip. They over exceeded where they start the dip from, but the idea was to buy the dip. First of all, breakout here, and that was the target. They overdid it. Buy the dip, and I said this would be normal. They went higher, and then this happened. This morning, I put another arrow. I said normal on the dip, and I would buy the dip. But this arrow right here was set, and look how they went into that, and then overdid it. And then this morning I said normal. If this happens, it would be normal. Look at my arrow. Look at where they fell. Okay, so there are no coincidences. These lines are there for weeks at a time, and I always update them and move them in order to, like, if it falls into here, you have a word that says buyers. So you're not going to sell your calls here. If you waited, you would be likely to buy calls and get out of the puts if you were writing puts all the way down here. In contention since October. So I keep notes, copious notes. Look at this arrow down from up here, head and shoulders. This was the target eventually. Look at this, available and normal. Available and normal. Look, boop, boop. Those were there before anything started. What was perfect today? I wanted to see, there was something that was perfect, and I said, I'm going to keep the chart and I'll show it later. Maybe it was in the SPX 30. No, probably not. Look, check this out. No joke. This is somebody in the chat room. This is the Tesla dashboard. He's driving and he's got TradingView pulled up on his Tesla screen. How cool is that? I had to keep it. Don't do that though. That's dangerous. Netflix, I'm worried about it fundamentally. Technically, it's pretty strong. Don't short it without real good reason. You're welcome, Justin. I appreciate it. Let me see. I had perfect inputs here today, like before and after pictures. Shoot, maybe I can get it here. Oh, okay. So here, check this out. So copy image. Hopefully they'll let me paste it. Yep. So this was earlier today. I said, look, the lines were here before the actual day, how the day unfolded. This is before. So there are no coincidences, and I'm not blowing steam, as they say. Blowing smoke, whatever. Okay. So here's another thing. So I do track algo flow. So I warned. I said, look what happened to the algo flow in, what was this? Microsoft. And Microsoft was super strong. I said, Microsoft is done. That followed this. I promise you, you will not regret it. You will not regret it. You will not find a better bang for the buck to get education and on the job training, so to speak. I don't want anybody to jump in with live money. You should learn how to trade with fake money first. Look at this setup here. Perfect. Let's get it out of there. Okay. Give me a ticker. We'll do 2 tickers. Netflix. We can do Netflix. And then another one. I think I did Netflix. I wouldn't get long a stock into a prior fail. This harmonic is bearish, but it's not playing out. So if this RSI line goes to here, Netflix could drop to 316, but I wouldn't short it too tightly. It's going into earnings next week. They may want to, if it continues to rally into earnings, I will definitely buy a put for a lotto. What is a lottery ticket? It's a small amount of money that doesn't break your heart or your piggy bank. It's just a fun way to take advantage. And what's a small amount of money? Some people, $50 is small. Some people, 500 is small. I don't know. You shouldn't, if you're worried about it and getting pissed off, that's too big. Nvidia. I went long Nvidia by credit put spread, and I believe I added a debit call spread for somebody that wants it. Whoops. I would not get long Nvidia here. I would get long on the dip because look, if it does dip, it has support. So it should find support. And if it does come back here and take that out, then the target would be wonky. The target would be somewhere up here. Look what it did. It would have drawn a head and shoulders. I will not give it full credit for the head and shoulders. So I'll just give it the nick credit, which is somewhere around here. And if I look left, look at that. Perfect. I didn't even know that. Check it out. Look how the intuition comes into play here. That's perfect. So if you ask me now, I would say buy the dip in Nvidia. So this is the last one I'm going to cover. It's going to take a minute. So here's a strategy for all of you guys who are trying to chase a breakout and you fail. You go, man, I knew that this was going to be a breakout. And I went in, I put my call order, and by the time you get filled, it's already up here. And then it takes a little dip here, and then you get stopped out and you don't make much money. Okay, so what do? You buy the dip, okay? And somewhere here, you'll buy it, not perfectly, but it would be better than chasing. And you wait, and you put a stop loss. And then it comes back to here and it breaks out, you're already long. Or you wait for the breakout, and almost always, listen to this, almost always, they go like this to test the floor from which they sprang. Buy the call here. Don't buy it here. Wait for the dip. Buy the call here. How does that work? When you see them, let's say you decide to buy a call and the price is $1. Just offer 70 cents or 80 cents and wait. When price does that, you get filled. If you hear the professionals say, they'll say, I got filled. That's what that means. They open an order, they offer to pay less than what it's showing. And when price goes the other way, they get filled, and now they're already long. Do I trade a low cost like Ford? Yes, of course. It's not a good time to get long Ford right here. I'm speaking from memory. Do you trade the SPX every day? That's all I trade, the SPX every day, because it's cash settled. You're welcome on NVIDIA. All right, folks. I think Rodrigo needs to cut it short here. And it's been a long day. And we can get together back again, maybe on Sunday or next Thursday. If I haven't convinced you to join, I'm begging you join, not for the money. I promise you I don't need it, although I love it. You will accomplish more. You will be a better trader. You will find better trades. You will make fewer mistakes. You will accumulate lessons and skills you would use for a lifetime. I promise you that. I'm not your typical guy with listening to news. I listen to zero news, and my goal in life is to have you listen to zero news as well. You can trade without news. I could have traded today's CPI report without any news. I wouldn't have even cared what the number was, and I'd still be successful at it.
Right. Well, look, Nick, this has been a great session. You always make it a fun one. Of course, just know, like, I mean, if you want to stick around, dude, we'll stick around a little bit. It's up to you, man. Karom says, interested, not surprised. I mean, Nick Chahine is a great instructor. He's a professional trader. It's not just about trades. I mean, that's the thing. Most people think, like, you know, when they start to trade, they don't even know what to look for. They're just like, give me a trade idea. Like, you come out here, you're not asking for a cheeseburger, man. Like, this is not BK. This is not McDonald's, it's not Wendy's. It's a little bit more complicated than that, right? It's not drive-through. Okay, we do 5-star steak here with Nick Chahine, right?
Where are you going with that? Okay, I'll give you an idea. Listen to this. Check it out. All right, somebody said what kind of trade it is. Okay, January 10th. This is perfect. Check this out. I can't do it on that thing, so I'll do it here. So January 10th, I sent out a note to the Ultimate Alerts, which, by the way, if you subscribe to the Inner Circle live, you will get these too. So I said, markets are greenish today, but not without drama. You will get this somewhere in the middle of the day, 10:30 a.m. my time. Okay. So VIX is red going into the CPI Thursday. The markets will have a big move off the CPI report, but we don't know which way it's going to go. My gut says higher is easier into February. Okay. That's straight up, plain simple English. There's no Wall Street bullshit here. I'm not a Wall Street guy. There are other people here that speak Wall Street. You can go join them. We did a credit put spread in NVIDIA, and we did. It's at 50% of its maximum gains. Now it's better. Now maybe it's 65, 70. So that trade has delivered its profits without a sweat. Today, I want to offer the idea of going long in a different way. This is for those who cannot sell spreads. I can get long NVIDIA using the February call options. The simplest way is to buy shares or naked calls, and I offered one. Okay. Those are expensive and not forgiving in case your short-term dippy. So a more realistic way is I would use a debit call spread. And I shared the debit call spread. February 27th, price was 3.9. I need a rally to win. I would consider stopping out at 30%. I would skip this if I was already long NVIDIA in shares or calls or AMD. And I just looked, and that thing is $520. So we went from $400 to $520. So do the math. How big of a win that was since the 10th. And I didn't need miracles, right? It was a simple trade. That's the same trade right there, $520. So if I bought it for $400, I can close it today, and I would book the profit. So this is live. I just copied it from the write-up into here. And here's my write-up about the QQQ. This also I posted today. Said QQQ credit put spread trade update. On January 4th, I shared an idea to sell QQQ 127 credit put spread is now near maximum gains. Here's how you close it. 3 cents, 89% of maximum gains. Whoops. Okay. On the same day, I had two other write-ups. I told you I couldn't remember which was Shopify and QQQ. Here's the Shopify trade setup. This is fresh copy paste. There's a whole write-up above it about what's going on in the market and 3 setups. This was the second one. Shopify credit put spread also available for 2-3. So I don't know how this trade is doing. So let's go there. Maybe I'm losing money. Maybe not. What was it? 2-3, 30-29, 2-3, 2-3, 30-29. 8 cents. So it's now 8 cents to close. It was 12 cents to open. I would leave it alone. So how do I win with this trade? As long as Shopify doesn't fall through this level in the next 22 days, that trade's win. Why only $1 wide? Because I told you, I make them $1 wide so that it suits the smallest accounts. Somebody could make it $2 wide and make twice as much money, but I want to write it up to where it suits the people's accounts. Okay, so on that day, let me scroll up. Microsoft was the other one. So it was Microsoft, Shopify, and the QQQ. And I said, I'm choosing the QQQ. So Microsoft setup was expiration 120, 212, 210. Okay, so that's definitely a good win. I did this, and I collected I didn't say how much the credit was, so I don't remember how much it was, but it was not here. It was 210, 212. So if we go down here, 215, you see it. It's far away from current price. It's 2 cents, a penny to close. So clearly a maximum win. Usually I collect about 30 cents, 25 cents on this one. So if I did 10, that's $200, $250 or $300. And I didn't even need to look at it twice. So that's Microsoft's setup on the same day. I wouldn't do all 3. I would do one of them. I chose 200, the QQQ, because it was like a blanket statement on all of them. All right, folks. Okay, you'd rather pay monthly. Unfortunately, Marvin, they don't have that. Then I guess I'll wait for next year. I can't, I can't tell Benzinga how to run their business. They've been at it for a long time. They're good people. So I'm here, I put in the hours. If you're not committed to trade for a year, then this is not for you. But if you're committed to trade for a year, even if you don't like me, there are dozens of people in the live room that you will like. I guarantee it. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Doc is saying that he had a monster day. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the YouTube chat, but
I can see hearts flying on the right of my screen. I don't know who's doing that, but thank you.
Yeah, so King Blessed, give me a call. Nick, this has been a good session, man. We talked about mega caps, iron condors, a whole bunch. Look at all those faces. I wonder what that
Yeah,
means.
I don't know what that's all about. Somebody's shocked.
They're just shocked. They're surprised. They're like, wow, dude, this guy Nick is insane.
Thanks, Nancy. There, what are you doing here? Is that my Nancy from the room? What are you
That's
doing here?
Nancy. Yeah, that's Nancy for sure. Yeah. Nancy from Vegas, right?
Nancy from the room.
So Green Moon, yes. All right. So
Merci,
look,
de rien, Jonathan, de rien. Any
All right.
French-speaking people, Arabic-speaking people, we'll do that in there. We've got a whole bunch of languages.
Yes,
Spanish-speaking
also-
people. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking people.
a few hours of the day, Nick actually does this. Well, you know, like 5 languages. So you do these other. If you want to learn a new language, you
We
can do
have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. So something I learned, that praying hands emoji is not praying hands, it's a high five. I didn't know.
And well, yeah, I also know that
Thank
the
you.
chat room has how do you say, you have a little slot for comedy in the chat room.
We have comedians. Do we have? I'm not going to even answer that question. Of course we do. We've got people from all over the world, all races represented, and we have a lot of women, which is unusual. That's testament that the room is not obnoxious, because usually the traders are young boys who are obnoxious and loud and whatever. Not this room. We have young men and we have women of all ages. I can attest to it, and it just flows. There's no noise. Every once in a while I cuss or somebody cusses. We have a cowbell here. Thank you, Lori. I even have a coin, a challenge coin, if you know what that is. But I no longer am drinking coffee like I was, and I definitely quit the bang, so I can't throw the coin in that anymore. So we have a good time.
Yeah, screw Bang. They never gave you the sponsorship. The hell with
No,
them.
I left the can. I left a case of Bang right under my feet to remind me. It's like a challenge every day. Don't open one, and I haven't.
Yeah, if anybody from Bang is listening, like, you guys missed out, man. Like Nick was Nick was all in, dude, with the bangs.
Ashraf, ahlan malim.
All right, Nick.
All right.
So, any closing remarks on your end, man?
The closing remarks is,
final jokes?
if I can beg you to test yourself, turn off CNBC, turn off the news. You want news? Get the headlines. Benzinga has a good source of headlines. Don't read the article. Just know what's going on. Don't read the opinions. Nobody delivers news anymore like they used to. They don't deliver facts. They deliver opinions. Forget the opinions. You're smart enough. Hey, Erwin. Is this Erwin? Canadian Erwin? If you have Benzinga Pro, the news flow there. Nope. Okay. The news flow, then never mind. No, never mind. The news flow there is pretty good. You can sort by keywords and all of that. So that's a pretty good tool. But don't read the articles. They're garbage. Unless you want to find out what does this company do. Okay. But don't read what blah 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 from don't buy a stock because somebody else said to buy a stock. Investigate.
All right. So, Nick, thanks a lot, man. Great session. Again, you make the whole thing
this
happen.
was like one of the funnest sessions. I don't know why. I'm like in a good mood right now.
So we keep it real, man. You know how it is, Nick. So thanks a lot, man. Hey, everybody, check out Nick Chahine. Check out the chat room. I'm going to show you a little bit of this now, but everybody...
If you don't come join, I'm going to hunt you down. I know where you live. No, I don't know where you live. I don't know.
We got 350 members ready to go find all y'all. So
please join. I'll be nice. All right, later.
All right, Nick Chahine. There you go. Nick is the lead trader at the Options Inner Circle chat room. That was the first chat room that I launched with him. It's, the most popular, I'd say, where people get the most out of it. So I'm just going to go through the YouTube chat really quick here. I see my brother Doc in the house. What's up, man? If anybody needs life insurance, Doc is your man, right? Is that what you do? Shirish Gupta, what's up, man? Says, we have a great community thanks to guys like Doc, James, Rami, and many others. Yes, there's a ton of great people out there. Those that you did mention are definitely great members. I know because I've signed up like 95% of the people. You seem like a good asset to the team, asking the right questions. Doc, you're I like this. I like your approach, Doc. Let's see what else we got here on the YouTube chat. PDX, what's up, dude? No news is good news. No news January. Nick quit bang. We make him do push-ups now. Yeah, dude, you gotta make sure he's on point with that. Right. So yeah, the chat room is fully diverse, like Doc is saying. We got everything from nurses, surgeons, soccer moms, dentists. I signed up a guy that works at the Department of Defense. I had the most interesting conversation with that guy. And he's in there. He's in there. He's got access to a lot of stuff. But it's fun, you know, there's a lot of people from different places. And everybody's able to learn, right? It doesn't matter where you're coming from, your background. That's the beauty of the stock market. Anybody can come in and make some money. But don't let that, you know, be the only thing you think about, because that means that also, hey, like you can also go in and lose all your money if you don't know what you're doing. So Carone Brantley. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. Everybody that has questions on the live room, right, on how to join. There's two things that you can do, right? Number one, this expires at midnight, but two, right? So you have the link in the chat where you can either email me, call me. If you email me, it's better because I can, you know, like I know that you're emailing me for that. If I get a bunch of missed calls, I don't know what people are calling for. So best thing would be send me an email, rodrigo@benzinga.com. If you want to call, that's fine. You want to text me, that's fine. And if you want to join before this expires, the link is there in the chat. Carone Brantley. Okay, Carone, there is the link. Il Duca. All right, let me share the chat room, okay? Give me a moment, guys. All right, so that's the chat room. As you can see on the left side, you have a bunch of stuff there. Remember I said it comes with 20 trade alerts a month. So on the left side, you have this divided by the categories, starter, enhanced, and ultimate. This is once a week. Once every 2 weeks. This is one every week. This is 3 to 5 per week. This is the chat room. This is where the action happens. This is where you want to be at, okay? Let's see, and let's just see what is going on in this chat room, okay? Really quick before I get into this, right? Doc. So look, we got two channels, right? The inner circle chat is where everybody's posting, and I mean everybody. Nick Chahine, all the boys and girls here. We got Steve in the house, Jaybird, Doc One Lens, Naren, Trade on Max, what's going on? Dr. Jim, how we doing, Dr. Jim? Actually, I just signed him up for a lifetime 2 weeks ago, I think, around there. We got Arsh in the house, Ryan 33. Nick Shaheen, damn, Nick's rocking the shades. All right. What else we got? We got Doc. I mean, this Doc is there all the time. Robert. And as you can see, Doc is helping out a lot of the people there. A lot. People have questions for Nick, and this is, you know, ask as many questions as you want. Okay, so that's what it's about. We got Barbara just joined here. Let's see, where's Barbara? Hi everyone, I'm Barbara. I live in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, from Northern California. Happy to join you. Happy to have you here. Okay, everybody. Barbara doesn't know you guys, but let's give Barbara a shout out. Okay, let's go, Barbara. All right, another shout out here. Tammy, Vin, Neil, Harvey, helping out with, when we launched these chat rooms about a year ago. They've done a lot of work to we have push notifications if y'all didn't know. All you got to do is download the Benzinga app, and you're gonna get the push notifications every time that Nick will post something in his chat right here. So inner circle chat, everybody's there. Remember, everybody's chatting there, including Nick. Mr. Dave Fondue. Dave, if you're watching this, Dave, let me know. Dave's a super cool guy. Like, I mean, he got hooked up for sure. But like, yeah, Mr. Dave Fondue, hope everything's going well with you, brother. I think he called me today. So okay, so Nick's important messages. Only Nick can post in this chat room, and you can see that it's pretty straightforward, right? You get either a trade alert. This is the morning note. You gotta like look at this, right? Because it has the market commentary, the strategy for the day, and the live session. Remember, I told y'all that like he's live 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. This is the link that he's using. Okay, that's like where you join. So you click that, you get in, you put the passcode. That it changes all the time. So you always got to look at what it is there. You also have every single, you got SPY, Qs, IWM, charted out. This is 8:30 in the morning. Then you have the futures out as well. We do have a couple of people that trade futures there. Okay, let's see. Markets are green, so here you go. I mean, you got a full market commentary, of course, $10 wide debit call spread for February 17th. Debit call spreads. Okay, we do credit put spreads, we do covered calls, iron condors, butterflies, diagonals. We do a lot of different types of trades that pretty much make you a complete options trader. So that's more or less everything there. T Grindman, no, we don't. But we can switch you over for any reason, within like 14 days. Carome, thanks. We spoke the other day. I know, Karan, we've been talking for a while. Just send me an email and I'll make sure we can get you all set up here, brother. Yes, the lifetime is available there on the checkout as well. So if we don't have any, let me go to the YouTube chat here and see what is going on. Gonna have like 1,000 people live chat tomorrow. Password breach, damn. No, I think that was the old password PDX. I don't think I showed. My man Dave is live. We're talking about the same Dave here, Doc. We're talking about Dave Fondue, Mr. Fondue. Shout out to Barbara PDX. That's awesome. Barbara had trouble with the sign-on process, so we helped her. I mean, this is what a real community is. Tyrone Haynes. Tyrone, give me a call, man. Doc rocks, absolutely. King Blessed texting me, getting in the DMs. That's what's up. All right. So let me just show you the chat room here really quick, okay? Everything is here, right? Remember, everything is here. You got the education sessions right here. These are educational videos that this is Nick's private library. So what is a call? What is a put? What is a spread? What's a credit put spread? What's an iron condor? What's a butterfly? What's a diagonal? What's all with these different types of trades, right? When to book or set a stop loss, when and how to book profits. I had a call with someone today about he did an iron condor and he didn't manage to trade. He didn't put a stop loss on it. So this is really why it's important to know how to do these trades, especially when you're doing condors or credit put spreads and such, right? You need to know what you're going to do. Like if you do a credit put spread, you should know if you want to get assigned or not, like before you even make the freaking trade. So have a plan, at least know what your options are and set your trade accordingly, right? Trade responsibly. We do not encourage irresponsible trading. We do not encourage gambling or any of this stuff. We encourage responsible trading with rules, with a proper mentor, educator, with a plan and a strategy. Okay, we're not here to play the lottery. We want you to make real income. Okay, and if you think about it, you make $100 a day. You're talking about $2,000 a month. Make 200 a day. You're talking about $4,000 a month. So, again, you don't have to go out trying to make these crazy returns every day, just because you see some meme stock ripping, right? What type of trade is best? How to pick what type of trade? All the stuff is there. So I think that kind of covers everything, guys, the education, the chat room. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wrap this session here. I want to thank everybody for being here. Nancy, it's really good to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's working out there for you. If my friend Deborah Colony is here, Deborah, hope everything's working out with you too. Karom, T. Grindman, Sapphire, Luca, Ahmed, good having you guys here. Let's see. Just want to make sure I don't miss any comments on the YouTube side. Okay, I used to publish Alan. No. All right, so exactly. So if anybody needs life insurance and annuities, hit up Doc in the chat room. We got a guy for everything. Literally everything. We got a guy that sells tires there. I'm just kidding. But yeah, great community, great ton of people out there from all walks of life, from all over the planet, literally. Pavel, I want to see you in the chat room. Oliver Torres, if you're not in the chat room, I'll see you there. King Bless says, I like the team union. Yeah, we're definitely a team. We're not, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. That from day one, when I launched this chat room with Nick, like that's always been the goal, right? To make sure that we have a tight community, a tight group working together as a team. That's it, right? So let's see, let's make it sure. I just want to make sure nobody, all right, so everyone forgive me, don't hack my computer anymore. Okay. Doc, okay, so you know Mr. Dave Fondue, it's so crazy because I know all these people and it's like they're really cool, but then like, you know, when I find out that all you guys are friends and stuff like that, it's really, it's cool, you know, like that you guys are out there, you know, making real relationships in the chat room. It's more than just a chat room. It's a workplace. It's people go in there and you make real friends, like legit. So base hits wins ball games, not home runs. Doc, I agree. PDX, I'll see you soon. We have some dentists as well in the chat room if anybody needs some work done. Don't make Doc too busy. Hey Doc, you better start, you know, like King Blessed will be in the room tomorrow. We're gonna hook up King Blessed. All right, okay, folks. Enough fun here, enough distractions. I'm going to wrap this session here. Karam Brantley, thanks for emailing me. It was a great session. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for participating, for attending, for caring about your financial education. If you don't do it, nobody else will do it for you. If you don't make informed financial decisions, somebody else will do them for you. Okay. I hope you understand what that means. Everybody, thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate all you guys. Matthew, whatever that is, spam link, don't share it. So, all right, I think we kind of got it covered here for now. Everybody, hope you have a great day. Have a great Thursday. Stay safe. All right, stay safe. Trade responsibly. Be responsible. Knowledge is power. Call Rodrigo and get into the chat room. Okay. Shout out to all you guys. We'll see you in the chat room tomorrow.